Arriving now at the second part of the self-love episode, I wanted to go together towards a more practical perspective when it comes to self-love in terms of healthy versus toxic relationships, and how to empower a woman to protect herself with self-love, with self-preservation, with feeling equal, with having compassion. What would you say are some beliefs, attitudes, or actions a young woman or a woman at any age can consider in order to live a happy life, a safe life in her relationships?
Okay, I think very important is, we already mentioned a few things, but recognize and know your boundaries. And that part, of course, it's a journey of understanding, as I mentioned, what do you like, what you don't like. So you can even make a list. Start with something, that is visible. Sometimes it helps, to see it. And while making that list of the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and making a list of the things you are willing to negotiate and the things you're not willing to negotiate, where there's room to, because that is also being true to yourself and true to your boundaries. I think those are like small details, to bring awareness and center yourself in the now, en el aquí y el ahora, for you to see it, and that also, will make a road for you of the things in relationships. It could be your workplace or your relationships, romantic relationships, or relationships
even with family, with parents, with brothers, sisters,
anything. So it's in different context, and how do you see this life? What are you willing to give? What can you give? And what do you expect of others? And seeing that, not only living in the ideal person, if we're talking about relationships, romantic relationship, of not seeing only the ideal person that we want, but the real person that we have in front of. To be able to also see that, and we also have to go back and see ourselves, who we are, what are we doing, what are our actions, how we work on how we communicate with others. Are we doing this in an assertive way? What are the words that we're using? Are we in touch with our emotions? Do we even know, which emotions we're feeling? I think those are like basic things to go back to that will create that pathway towards, healthier relationships. Because no matter what happens in our lives, that doesn't mean that they have to define us. The hurtful things that have happened, we can learn from them. But in order to learn from them, you have to be in a moment in your life to be able to see the aprendizaje, the learning experience. So I think if you start with small things like that, like, writing these things and trying to get to know you, who are you, who do you want to be? And of course, when you reach out to other people, professionals, and if you feel like you cannot do it alone, or you don't feel ready to do it alone, it's good to have someone to accompany you through that journey. But it's believing that you have a right. You have, as I mentioned, you have a right. You deserve. We all have we see human rights. We all have a right to live a life without violence, and peaceful life. And try to imagine, what does that mean for you? I think if you try to see it, and that will also help you to see, okay, this is what I imagined, I envision. They say, you have to envision things, and it will make it the pathway more clear of what you need. And practicing accepting love from yourself and from others. And it doesn't have to be with a condition, like because that also, we think we have to give, and then, but it's a we need to let it flow. Let things flow. You will give and you will receive. You will give and try to keep that balance. I think the word for me this year is like balance.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's difficult to see that balance, to really, because it's not like 50-50 exact, but when you're doing those lists, it will help you give a little bit more visuals on what is happening in your life and what do you need to go to, what do you need to reach where you want to go. That is part of it, of course. Educating yourself, getting information is it opens a lot of doors. Having people around you that will help you grow, support you, that you can talk to about these things, and about your emotions, about your thoughts, and that exchange of information also creates a space to grow, to receive, so those parts are very important, and connecting back to your body, and which takes you back to the present. The body is in the present. We live so much in the past or in the future, and again, it's very important to understand our past. It teaches us things, that we can take care now in the present, and then we can use for our future. But we cannot only live in this side, past or future. We have to come back to our present. So connect with your body. Take a moment to really identify what is happening. What is my body telling me? What do I need? Do I need to walk a little bit? Do I need to drink water? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to, what do you, what do I need? Taking it back to that. Back to the basics.
Back to the basics. I say that so many times. Yeah? Exactly. Yeah. I hear you, and I hear my words, and it's so simple. But sometimes, people have such a hard time going back to the basics. Yes. It's the easiest thing, actually, and the best solution for everything, but it's almost the last thing that people go to. Yeah. And what do you think we can say or remind the woman right now that although she understands these concepts, she's so far from self-love that she is still at the point that she doesn't even want to spend an hour with herself in silence, or looking in the mirror, or even considering herself as deserving of peace and love. Because many women I talk to start from that point. And what can we tell them to make even a 1% little change today?
I think it's always, putting that first step, even if we think it's small, it's very important, whatever that means for anybody. So, it's very difficult to say just, just one thing, but you said, spending an hour with yourself, maybe for someone that is like so much, but maybe you have this 1 second, maybe it takes you like 5, but at least 5. But I mean, saying something kind to yourself, just even one word, recognizing something good that you did today, so I want to say small, but small is relative for.
It's valuable. Small is still so valuable.
It's that first piece that will, and then you go to the next one, and then you go to the next one. So it's very different for each person, but that will start that journey. That will connect you back to yourself, piece by piece, little by little. Again, difficult, but important. And that also understand that we don't have to do this alone, because sometimes we close ourselves and we think I cannot do it, and we are social beings. We need interactions. If we see like even human beings, babies, they really need someone to take care of it. Other species, or they are born and maybe the same day they're on their own or things like that, but human beings really need that connection. So it could be, sometimes we're not ready to do it on our own, but that's why it's very important to identify who do you have around. And maybe we say, I don't have anybody, and I don't, but I invite you to just take a moment and look beyond of the people that maybe, one day have lent you a hand.
Yeah.
It could have been someone on the street that, helped you when your bag fell down, or that will give you back that hope of, the humanity and that people are around you. And poco, little by little, it will help you understand and see back the things that you have, the people that you have closer.
Mm.
Oh, I had this cousin that so, we used to go, da, da, da. Okay, maybe you can reach out. And, so these little things that you don't have to spend a lot of money to, work on yourself and have self-care, or, it's small things that will take you back to the path that you need. Sometimes we can do it on your own. We're in that position in our lives that we can start our own. Sometimes we need support, from the outside, and then we will, get that road back. So I think it's broaden the perspective of things, of people, because it's sometimes it's opening our vision of panorama.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, like the panoramic view, more than just what's at home. Or
yeah, because we get so stuck of the things are happening, and of course it's I understand that sometimes that happens. We think we cannot do it because it feels overwhelming.
Exactly.
And then you hear, you have to love yourself, but it's not so as easier said than done, no? But again, it's those small steps that you take that will take you to the way, to the goal that you are looking for, or whatever you envision for yourself. Understanding that all the things that you have done have taken you, where you are here. Enjoying those small moments that we usually don't enjoy. We're very on a rush, we do a lot of things, and then we're on to the next one and on to the next one. And this is a journey, and enjoying every part of that journey, even those moments that are down, are moments that will teach you something. So I think that also helps, to understand that life is not a straight line. Life goes down and up, go down and up. And if okay, I'm in my down, but it will eventually go up, know. So what do I need to do this? And what can I learn? That it's like I'm going to use the things that I learned from this being down to use it as a ladder to go up, and to learn and to enjoy these moments, and to prepare myself, for if something happens, it's going to go down, but we're not going to stay there.
We're not going to stay there.
Yes, we're not going to stay there, because if it's we don't have a happy life. We don't have a, completely, it's because if it's a straight line, it's like, when you're in the hospital and you're connected to and it's toot 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 toot, and what happens when it goes toot? Life is over. So that's why I don't see life like, it's always everything happy or everything sad. It's a journey of ups and downs. Maybe sometimes it's the up goes a little bit longer, and then down, and then up again, and sometimes the down feels a little bit longer. It could happen, but then what do you need to go back here, and what do I need to learn from here? I enjoy it, and eventually it might have a little bump in the road, and then so when you understand that, I think it also frees you, like and it's not like everything bad is going to happen to me or everything good. It's a balance of that life. That's also, I hope it takes a little bit of the overwhelmingness around feeling so stuck, Yeah. And then it will shake you a little bit and let you see things that maybe you are not seeing. As I mentioned, maybe other people didn't even think about that could lend you a hand, and you being able to accept that hand. But of course, again, it's a journey of everybody. Like, it's different for everybody, and I think, sometimes when it's not inside, we can look for support. And some people go, to a professional and start their journey. So that's the beauty of it, to having someone also to be able to be accompanied by someone in that journey.
Absolutely. And going back to the idea of feeling overwhelmed, because I think that's a serious part of the process. Many women want to love themselves more, but they feel overwhelmed even by starting, or they feel overwhelmed by the idea that it might be too difficult, it won't work for them, they might fail at this, it might not last in their case. So there are a lot of sabotaging beliefs. But what can I say is that this is like the self-love process, with every single gesture of even 5 seconds and a kind word. It's actually the only process in life that is guaranteed not to fail somehow, because every single word you say nicely to yourself, it can build to a moment of happiness or pleasure or peace, and that is never something lost. And once you add a few extra on top of that, you create only a plus. There's no downside or minus of giving yourself kindness, compassion, or peace. So it's not necessary to make it a competition or a performance-based process, when it's actually just a matter of going back to the basics and being a human and loving yourself and others.
Yes.
And another part of it, it gets more linear, but not that the boring side of it.
No.
Because many people are used to living in the downside of the things for long times, and they consider that as normal. Something I've seen with all my clients is that from here, it's okay to have this and ups and
But
downs.
there are also moments that we need this.
And when we need this, and the more we love ourselves, we end up having this more neutral side of life, where I can actually make decisions, I can set up my boundaries, I can feel respected, I can repair things from my past, and step by step I live in a more calmer, peaceful state. And that's the balance we all look for.
Exactly. That's the way, the ups and downs. But it's not like this always, no? As you mentioned, it's the moment that up also that will give you some stability. The stability that, sometimes it will go like this, or sometimes it could even go higher, but we're looking for that stability. But the stability doesn't mean that it's the life, it's always just like this, because then there's nothing. We need to go through this journey because we learn, but then we need stability so we can interiorize what we have learned. And then when it gets, okay, we need again. So it needs constant movement. Yes. That is what we need. We need constant movement, but not constantly. pero the key word again, the balance between it. The balance between it. And I was going to tell you something, but I just forgot about it. But all these things, I think it's very important for someone to take this moment and really, it's life is so beautiful. We experience things that are, sad and hurtful, but we get this opportunity to do something about it, every day. Yes. And I just encourage, someone to, whenever you're listening, to take a moment for you. Take the moment to that, because all that you said is like layering the foundation. My brother make cakes, and I use this example with him one time. I said, with happiness, it's sometimes we say, the other people will make me happy, and we look happiness outside. And I said, you see, happiness, or your happiness is like you are the cake. You're the complete cake. Okay. And people around you will be like the topping. So maybe you will bring, you will be the sprinkles, and other person will be the gummies, and other person will be, and maybe one day that gummy will not be there anymore. Okay. And I'm gonna miss it, but it's not gonna take away. I'm not gonna feel empty because there's a piece of me missing. When we think that people makes us, then when someone is not there anymore, we feel incomplete. But if we see persons that are around us, that they add on our happiness, that, because it's like people coming, putting this, putting that, and then it will change, and then understand that people have certain time in our lives. I see it also as a train that people go on my train and then go off. But to go back to the cake, is understanding that your happiness, it's you, and that people around you will add on. So that is very important. That's why the self-love, because you're taking care of that cake, the inside of that cake, that foundation that will keep it, standing.
Yes.
The cake is
Exactly.
And then to be able to receive all those nice things that people, bring into your lives, but also understand that when they're not there, you're not gonna be incomplete. You're not gonna be, So I think that will take also the peso, the weight. That if I don't have someone, that I'm gonna be unhappy. If I don't, and it will get your focus more inside. And
yes, and then as long as we're alive, we can always find a solution for everything. As long as we're
you have a chance.
You have a chance.
You have a chance,
and you don't depend on anyone in your life, and of no relationship. You can always find a way to, earn your money, or earn your freedom, or recover your health, or maintain your health, as long as you wish well for yourself, and as long as you understand that you are equal with everyone else in the world, that you deserve to be well, because that's why you're alive. Why not be well as long as you're alive? And as long as you have the power, the intelligence, the knowledge, the compassion, the people, the resources, why not use them to create more peace inside yourself and inside others, while you are well? I think and live back to the basics. Go back to the basics.
Go back to the basics. Yeah. Remembering the airplane, you put the mask on first, and then you help others. Okay, it's a simple thing that they say, but whenever I hear it, it's like a reminder. You have to take care of yourself, and then it's okay if you want to take care of others, but if you don't start with yourself, then it makes it difficult. If we start with the person in the mirror, that makes a whole difference. Even when changing the world, I cannot change the whole world. It's not impossible, but I mean, it's very. But if every person starts with the person in the mirror, the whole world changed. It's so easy and so difficult, but it's beautiful, to understand the power that we have, the power that one person can have, in a collective. So that's why, we are talking about this, going back to the basics, going back to yourself, going back to understanding, and that you can, impact also the world around you.
Thank you so much for all this inspiration. I think you speak not only through your words, you speak through your voice, energy, attitude, knowledge, care, love that you just show. And I hope you continue to empower as many women as possible through your work. I think that's really, really valuable here in Aruba, but also for any other woman that has any contact with you or shares. And I hope I get to empower as many women as possible through my work around the globe and in Aruba. And I hope, maybe we talk in 50 years and the world is a better place, because every single day, each one of us takes a look in the mirror and just makes it a little better. Thank you for being part of this podcast episode, and I hope to see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Bye, Cinthia.
Bye.